Hi, today we're going to be talking about the life, works, and exile of Ovid, one of Rome's greatest poets ever. Now, who was Ovid? Publius Ovidius Naso, known simply as Ovid, was one of the great poets who was alive during the reign of Augustus. He was known for specifically publishing his 15-book magnum opus, the Metamorphoses. He was referred to as one of the last Latin love elegists by the imperial scholar Quintilian, which is very high praise for someone of his likes. He has had a tremendous influence on much of classic and contemporary mythology, poetry, and literature. Despite his own popularity in Rome, he was later exiled by Augustus, an event he would greatly lament later in his life. Now, going through his life and works. Now, Ovid was born on March 23rd, 43 CE, to a fairly powerful equestrian family in the town of Sulmo, Italy, which is just east of Rome. According to Seneca the Elder, he was not so much skilled at argumentative rhetoric, but much better at emotional rhetoric, which is something that he would use greatly to his advantage throughout his career as a poet. He was originally studying law. However, when his older brother had died, he had left his position at the Centumviral court to pursue poetry full-time. His earliest work was believed to be written in 19 CE, and it is titled Heroides, and it is a series of mythological letters from lovers to the ones that they love the most. Continuing with his life and works, his most controversial work, the Ars Amatoria, was written in 1 CE. In fact, this was basically written as one of the first pickup artist manuals, but all jokes aside, it was written as a way for couples to maintain their relationships whilst also building stronger foundations for said relationships, which was applicable to both men and women at the time and was very well liked. However, despite this popularity, the Ars Amatoria was not received well by Augustus. In fact, it was later used for the grounds for his exile from Rome, which would tragically happen some years later. Now, moving on to Ovid's exile. In 8 CE, Ovid was exiled to a remote province in the Black Sea named Tomis. It can be seen right around here, where Romania is today. The reasoning for his exile was because Augustus had believed that the Ars Amatoria had subverted the Julian marriage laws, which had promoted monogamy, which were written in 18 BCE. However, many scholars debate that this was the real reasoning, because many believe that it could have been much more personal. Some even argue that Ovid knew of a plot to assassinate Augustus and failed to warn anybody, and that might have been one of the primary reasons for Ovid to have been exiled. But we may never know. In fact, when Ovid was exiled, it was something that he took tremendously to heart. He had said that it was, quote, worse than murder, and, quote, a poem and a mistake. Tragedy. But during his exile, he wrote his most widely regarded book, the Metamorphoses, written in 8 CE. It is a 15-book chronology of classical Greek and Roman myths, and it also has historical recountings of notable events in Rome, like the deification of Julius Caesar. Many themes range from power to love to war to violence, range throughout the book, but the most prominent is growth and change. It has had a very large influence on much of Western art and literature. In fact, it inspired much of William Shakespeare's work. It is said that Romeo and Juliet had to have been derived from the story of Pyramus and Thisbe from Book 4 of the Metamorphoses. These myths and epics from all 15 books are common stories that are most widely regarded in most art, drama, and film today. Now, moving on to Ovid's death. In exile, Ovid had tragically died. It is believed that he had died in 17 or 18 CE, but when you get exiled to a remote province in the middle of nowhere on the Black Sea, it's kind of hard to keep track when people know that you're dead. So, the full date is not hammered out. His own legacy, however, was much greater than his own life. He had inspired numerous playwrights, authors, and poets for thousands of years to come. In fact, he is known as one of the greatest artistic contributors to all of Roman history and Western civilization itself. His genre-defying and genre-defining works have been crucial to developing the most sacred and, in fact, widely regarded works throughout all of Roman history. Thank you.